Hi, this is Richard C. I'm a math tutor here at Wyzant, answering a question submitted by a student. This is probably from Algebra 1. Quadratic formula is something you really need to know, and so I suggest you memorize it, and we're going to talk about that in a second. Let's get this set up. So first we want to set everything to 0. The most convenient way to do this is to bring over the x's so that we don't have a leading negative. So I'm just going to put the 0 on the left here. Traditionally, 0 would go on the right, but let's just bring these over. When I bring this over, I've got 49 x squared. So that negative, this becomes a negative 42. Okay. Now, before we apply the quadratic formula, we want to remove any common factors that might be there. I'm thinking about 3 maybe. Oh, 3 doesn't work. 3 doesn't go into 49. Okay, so there are no common factors, so we just have to apply quadratic formula. I'm going to put the equation here. So okay, so there's a song that I like to use for memorizing this. It goes to Pop Goes the Weasel. I won't sing it to you. There's also some like a poem that people made up for this. So just going to show you what A and B and C are. Just use that to kind of map our way through our solution here. So x here is going to be negative b, so that's 42, plus and minus square root of b squared, so it's going to be negative 42 squared, minus 4 times 49 times 9, all over 2 times 49. That's very important to plug in correctly. Some students get messed up right there, which is a horrible shame. R times A times C. I'm just checking myself here. So it's going to be 42 plus or minus square root. So now we get on the calculator. 42 squared is 1764. And then we'll subtract from that. 4 times 49 times 9. 1764. So this thing actually factors. We'll come back to that in a second. 2 times 49 on the bottom. So we could have factored it. I just assumed it couldn't factor because they're telling us to use quadratic formula, but it does factor. So it's going to be 42 plus or minus 0, which is kind of awkward, over 98. So there's just one answer here. And let's see if we can, so x would be, they want a comma separated list, so it's going to be 42 over 98. I can simplify 42 over 98 to So hold on a second. Three over 7. Because this is 3 times, yeah, so this is 3 times 14 is 42. And 7 times 14 is 98. So 14 is a common factor here, so we'll separate those out. So it reduces down to 3 over 7. I'm just going to do a quick sketch to show you what this graph might look like. We know that it's going to, the x-intercept is going to be 3 over 7, comma 0. So if we were trying to graph it, it's going to go through this point. And it's going to open up because you see the leading coefficient is positive. So it's going to open up something like that. And when x is 0, y is 9. So I know it's going to go through here at 9. And it's going to keep rising. It's going to be a similar, and this is 3 over 7. Okay, so that's, I think it's nice to have an idea of what the graph would look like as well. Of course, you can do all of this on your calculator. The calculator will graph it for you, or you could use Desmos for your online calculator. A fairly simple problem. You just have to just be careful when you're plugging in and when you're using your calculator. Okay, hope that was helpful to you, and I'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.